So we are getting started. We're going to be doing our dailies in Arena tonight. And we'll see how this plays out. Play 25 lands. Shouldn't be a problem. And we'll use our Chandra themed work in progress deck. It's a really fun deck. I've been wanting to make one based around her for a while, and now with Chandra's Regulator and these great new Chandras, it's a lot more doable. Like especially Acolyte of Flame is just so helpful. I've won so many games off of like any one of her abilities. You know, because the ability to flashback spells out of your graveyard. And this 4-drop here is also very good. I suppose we'll keep it, see what happens. The Ember Cats will help us ramp into Chandras potentially if they don't get removed, but you never know. The opponent was also playing red. We'll see. But yeah, the Regulator is just so powerful with the right setup, and Acolyte of Flame, the 3-cost Chandra, and Novice Pyromancer, that 4-cost there, the two of them work so well together. And I've won off the back of attacks. Okay. Now, the question is, what do I do? Do I put out the Spitfire? Which will probably eat a Lightning Strike if they have it. If they don't, let's see. If I put out the Pyromancer, I can toast one of her, or one of the opponent's creatures, but it's still likely I'm going to eat some damage. I can put out the Spitfire. We're not under a whole lot of pressure just yet. And then we'll see, maybe it's a mistake, but next turn I can actually just hard cast the Novice Pyromancer, and then depending on what the opponent has, you know, I can shock one of their creatures with her -2, or use her -1 to get 2 red mana, put out the other Ember Cat, and then the next turn be able to put Awakened Inferno out, which turns it into a very one-sided affair, because I can kind of board sweep all non-elementals. So, I guess it just depends on what happens this turn. Not really surprising, all things considered. Let's see. Yeah, okay, yes, to tap it and sacrifice it to do. If he attacks with the Scorch Spitter, he'll probably do his block with the Ember Cat, and then he may do like the Fanatical Firebrand and sacrifice it to finish off the Ember Cat. We'll see. It just depends. Oh no, no attacks. If he's waiting for like a Cavalcade of Calamity or something like that. And now things are interesting. Do I put out... You know, I think actually what I'm going to do is put out the other Ember Cat, and then just hold off. No attacks. I could put out Acolyte of Flame, but then she would be unprotected. No, I think we'll just call that good. if they don't do something about the Ember Cats, then I can put out Awakened Inferno next turn. Okay. Oh, Spectacle probably. Light up the stage, or no blocks. You might have some kind of pump spell to buff the thing up, or, you know, I don't know. Okay. That, that does not hurt my feelings too much. Mostly because...
I'm totally the best pyromancy student.
You know, I think we're actually, rather than getting the 2 damage in, we're gonna give her a little more of a buffer against burn. But yeah, that doesn't...
What an interesting creature. Let's see how you work. What the heck?
Okay, so I think this is what I'm going to do.
A little sizzle in my step.
I think I'd like to just kill his Saheeli.
Let's get stoked.
Because the Fanatical Firebrand isn't going to take out either one of these Planeswalkers just yet. And even if it did, I have backup, so honestly, we're looking pretty good here. And with the Regulator next turn, he literally will die if he doesn't save something good.
Rude.
Or take out the Acolyte of Flame. Well, that hurts, but it's not the worst thing. So I could get Awakened Inferno out now, or I could get Fire Artisan out and the Regulator, which I think is what we're going to do.
Time for sparks to fly.
Yeah, I mean, he's in red. He has no way to get rid of the Regulator
go, tough guy?
or the Awakened Inferno before I cast it, so no, I'm not going to copy it this
Sit back and
time.
watch it burn.
And yeah, I think we'll call it good. Let's see, welcome everybody who's here, which I see somebody is, but I can't tell who. Woohoo! He does not have haste. Yeah, it was going to go poorly for them from then on out. Okay, not bad. Kind of a long match considering it was 2 mono red decks, but what are you going to do? I played a little bit more slowly than I would otherwise, because of the fact that they could have just targeted my Planeswalkers early. So you know you want to be able to keep them out, and Acolyte of Flame in particular doesn't really have a way to protect herself early on. That's what your other spells or other creatures are for, really. I'm going to build a modern version of this deck. No, I can't keep that. It's just not enough early on. Yeah, I suppose you keep this, but what do I put on the bottom? I guess one of the Ember Cats, probably. One should hopefully be enough. It really just depends. But I want to have some kind of removal. That Lightning Strike could be very necessary. So, Esper? Holding up mana, probably for a counter spell. I think we'll just take the safe route. It's kind of what you have to do when playing against control. It's annoying, but you know, what do you do? I'm not really the biggest fan of control, especially the blue-white, you know, or blue-white X stare at your opponent style of control that doesn't really do anything. Okay, Dawn of Hope, so it's like an Esper life gain type thing. If that's the case, honestly, this is not a good matchup for us, but we're going to play it.
It's better than having a plan.
Suppose we go on the offensive, because in the colors that they're running, they're not going to be directly damaging us. They're going to either put something out or just destroy it, or prison effects. Let's see, and what I'd like to do is put out the Novice Pyromancer, but now let's create the tokens first.
Don't worry.
He's got something in hand, so we're going to okay, that's fine. A trade of my temporary okay, so that'll let me get
Be afraid, wizard.
Novice Pyromancer out, and then I think we'll go ahead and throw out the Ember Cat, so that if nothing else, next turn, one way or another, I should be able to get out Awakened Inferno, who is pretty damn strong against control. Ah, damn it. Well, what are you gonna do? That's not gonna save him from the heaps of aggro I'm going to be unleashing now. I really hate cards like that. Hand control in general. I used to play control a lot, but
Good luck while I'm gone.
I just have found that, you know, over the years, I just am not really a big fan of it anymore, because most of it tends to be just very dirtling.
Look at all these friends!
You know, kind of denying you the fun stuff as opposed to actually being, you know, and it's all very slow and grindy. I mean, that can be annoying, but, you know, what are you going to do? To each their own, I suppose. I had to put another counter on the blast zone so I can blow up the Dawn of Hope if need be. I think most everything that I'm going to need to take out on his side will probably be 2 or higher. I think we'll just go ahead and add you know, actually, let's add 1. There we go. Just put a counter on it. So now it's at 2. If I need to, I can destroy. What do they have? Settle the wreckage, maybe? Once they get me some more lands, will be quite alright. Because if they don't have something good, they're going to be in a world of hurt real quick. Now they do have the Dawn of Hope where they can kind of create an instant speed blocker. See, I could lightning strike it, and then, I think we just do what we're doing here. Because no matter what, okay, so 7 goes to, they're at 4. If they don't have, 5, pardon me, if they don't have a way to gain some serious life, Novice Pyromancer and the Lightning Strike can finish them off, barring counter spells, but we'll see. So maybe they have a Spell Pierce. That's about the only thing I can think of.
You get him, buddies.
Yeah, you know what? We do this.
Let's get
We
stoked.
attack. See what they have. If they don't have something good, they're just dead from the guys who go unblocked. Yeah, I mean, unless you have something, opponent, this is, yeah, it's one of those situations where you kind of just have to scoop. Sometimes there's just nothing you can do. Alright, let's get us these wins. Just gonna get the daily wins and then call it good for the night. Bob 1777. This is actually pretty good. We can pitch one regulator to the other one. It has Acolyte of Flame and enough lands to cast her. Lightning Strike for some removal. This would just see what the opponent has. Ooh, Rule. They may have ways to get rid of our stuff then. In the Gruul decks that I've played against, they can be tough. Okay, so that's good. I kind of want to kill that thing. No. Save 1 mana and do the regulator. So I'd like to get Acolyte of Flame out and start doing stuff, but I don't need them ramping into something mean. All lands and all abilities except mana abilities. Okay, and that's okay. It means I don't have Blast Zone, but it's unlikely that I was going to use it for a whole lot anyway. It's possible, but not, real likely. Okay, so now we can stick Acolyte of Flame before they have someone to attack her.
No. Too bad.
Double up and go for 4.
Go get him, buddies.
And then next turn we have a mountain. We can put out Novice Pyromancer, and we can double up, and each one of them also gets +4 power. Instead of just +2. That's what makes these two Chandras so deadly together, especially with the regulator. I love that card so much. Ah, you son of a bitch.
You can walk it off. I think I'm a decent enough pyromancer.
That's alright.
Haha, toasted!
I can do that same thing,
I'm Chandra. Nice to meet you.
Do I want to dig for something? Before we... No, because then I wouldn't have the mana. Well... Yeah, let's just kill their Chandra. Yeah.
Oh, haha, toasted!
And then see what they have. If they don't kill Novice Pyromancer, if she lives till next turn, we'll throw out Awakened Inferno. Oh, boy, emptying my hand. This got kind of scary all of a sudden. And that thing's an elemental, so I can't easily take... Ooh, you know what? Actually, Flame Sweep pretty handily takes care of all of those things. Yeah, let's do that first. Okay. Yeah, I'm still gonna have to kill that thing. Sorry, bud. It does leave Novice Pyromancer greatly weakened, but
Sure hope you can't handle the heat.
she was at 3, so she was within range of a kill spell anyway. Yeah, or that.
Anyone need a fire started? No? Too bad. Say hi to my fiery friends.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
One day, I'll come back even stronger.
Yes, I suppose you will. Wow, so it automatically works. That is actually kind of crazy. I never realized that combo, they lose everything but their mana abilities, including the enter the battlefield triggers and everything. That is rather interesting.
Hey, these little guys are great!
2/1s. Do I want to trade? Not really, but I can't really afford to just take 4 damage either. Well, we'll see. I need that extra mana that the Ember Cat provides. And opponent is in top deck mode, so we should be okay. So if we cast Awakened Inferno, we could just do its negative, or do her -2 and copy it, and he wouldn't be able to get around it. You know what? Let's do this. His Blood Sun's actually helping us quite a bit.
I'm an explosively good pyromancer.
Yeah, we want to do that. And kill his Planeswalker, and then copy it and kill his creature. And that puts him in kind of a bind. Yeah, that's not going to help you. Oh, yeah, the Lotus Fields, I forgot about those.
I'm burnt out.
Still didn't save it.
Finish you.
Yeah, no, that's that. It was going to get bad from then on out. I could stack 4 emblems on him next turn if I wanted to cast the other Awakened Inferno. And then, you know, it would have just kept going downhill quickly. So we've got some more people in the chat, in the stream. Welcome aboard. Just trying to get our dailies done. So far, not too bad. I would like it if we had more land, but if we draw into land, we'll be okay. We have Chandra's Regulator, so we can cycle stuff if we really need to. I've taken iffier opening hands anyway. flame sweep and shock kind of help. Just depends on what the opponent is running, how things go. Opponent having a bit of a tough time deciding whether to keep their opening hand or not. Or is making a pact with a bunch of different demons for immortality. And since I don't have immortality, of course I will expire before this game actually gets started. Maybe the opponent's AFK. That happens sometimes. If that timer runs down, it'll run all the way... Wait, no, I go first, so I'm not sure what that'll do. I don't think they just lose, but maybe it just forces them to keep whatever hand they have. I had this happen before where the opponent was AFK all through like their first two turns or something, so they just played nothing and it automatically discarded for them after they ran out of time, and then they got back and just immediately conceded because you've gotten 2 turns with playing nothing and having to discard. Okay. Yeah, opponent's still AFK. Maybe this is the new meta. This is the AFK meta. I'll just see if they get fed up with waiting and quit. That actually pretty well describes a lot of the really hardcore blue-white control decks, I think. And that's that. I think that happens if you go 2 turns with doing nothing, or maybe they just quit right then, but... So we're getting closer, we're marching along. I actually don't know if we're going to finish the dailies tonight. You have to get 15 wins, and while we've been pretty successful thus far, it can take a while. Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's, you know, I would recommend not kidding. Who knows, maybe they had a kid that needed tending to. This is a very Chandra centric hand. I don't know that it's a very good one. It's got land, it's got stuff to do. Okay, we'll just hope that we draw into some action here. See what happens. The absolute worst that could happen is we lose the game. You know, it's not really that big of a deal. And if they've got... shit. I cannot stand that creature. And the reason being that it almost always signifies a really slow, grindy, like scape shift type deck. And scape shift, actually, we have stuff in here that answers scape shift. Oh, okay. It's like a green stompy type thing. I actually could be in some trouble here. I can't kill that steel leaf champion. I suppose we put out a Spitfire. And definitely not attacking. And actually the problem is I can't even block the Steel Leaf Champion. He's so savage. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, so there's nothing I can do about him right now. This is going poorly for me real quick. If I can get a land, I can go double Chandra's Triumph on him. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's, you know, it'll get him out of the way. If I put out Novice Pyromancer, the problem is... Wait, it'll deal 5 damage. Okay, yeah, that I can get rid of. I still only have one blocker though, so she probably dies.
I'm ready to fight.
So we add 2 red mana with her.
Hot, 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 hot!
And then we do Chandra's Triumph on Steel Leaf Champion.
This is just gonna be bad for you.
And... I suppose we could chump with the Spitfire. This is going badly. I do have the other Chandra's Triumph. If I had enough mana, if I could get up to 6 mana, that would be great. Because then I could cast Repeated Reverberation, which lets me copy a spell twice and basically use this to do 5 to every one of their guys. But it's kind of a big ask right now. Yeah, I think we have to chump block because I need her for the mana production, if nothing else. Fuck, we needed a land. So I've got 4 mana here. I can go 6. I can roast.
Tell the sparks to fly.
I can toast everything they have except for the big guy.
Ever see a volcano erupt in person? You're about to. Check out these fireworks!
And then that's all we can do. And then we lose one of our planeswalkers regardless. He was looking... Oh, good God. It never ends. This is kind of a nightmare scenario for this deck, though. Something that moves even faster and does so... So I can go Repeated Reverberation. Okay, well, this may work out okay. So it gives me 2 red mana, or Repeated Reverberation, and then go Chandra's Triumph, and do 5 to every single creature that they have.
There's no problem fire can solve. Let's light it up!
Nice one. We're just not even going to attack. The 2 points isn't going to matter, and I want to save a blocker just in case they pull something. Beast Whisperer. Okay, so I need that guy gone, but I don't have a way to make that happen, and he's got a Growth Chamber Guardian and something else. I don't need him drawing cards, so actually, here's what we do.
Whoosh! Up in flames! I think I'm a decent
Then we do it again.
I call my fists Pyromaster
And then I guess we'll punch 2 in. I mean, I don't know that it really matters much. Honestly, our win condition is not letting him establish a board like that again. And I don't know if we have a way to stop that. Adapt costs 3, so you can do that. Okay, so now we hold on to the shock. Okay, we do this. And
it's elemental.
which might seem pointless, but it was just to get more counters on the Novice Pyromancer. End turn, wait for him to go adapt, and then we'll shock it when he tries. Hopefully that prevented him being able to search for another one. Wow, I cannot believe we got out of that. Oh, that's great. And what do we got? Eternal Isolation. Wow, I cannot believe we skated on that one. I will be right back. Alright, I am back. Sorry about that. So, if nobody left, skinny seahorse. There's a skinny seahorse in the chat. Repeated reverberation. Let's go take a look at that real quick. It was a card I just put in. As soon as I saw it, I really liked it. It's one of those cards that's very fun. I don't know how practical it is. One of those kinds of cards. When you next cast an instant spell, cast a sorcery spell, or activate a loyalty ability this turn, you copy it twice. You may choose new targets for the copies. Again, it's one of those that's very fun. It's probably not that practical, but it ended up winning me that game. Had I not been able to do the triple Chandra's Triumph, the Chandra's Trifecta, and toast those 3 creatures, I would have been history. I mean, I cannot believe I managed to get in front of that and stay in front enough to win. That is one of the harder matchups because a lot of really tough creatures and being able to spill the board fat, it's just very difficult for red to if they can't get in front of it like immediately, you're likely going to be in trouble. See, in this opening hand, I mean, we've got land, we have a shock, but that's all we can do for the first few turns. And now this is one of those, if we draw into action, great, we'll have the land, but I think we mulligan. Okay, that's a little more. I mean, there's more stuff. So, repeated reverberation, but it ended up winning me that game. And with the ability to double copy, we'll just wait and see. I've got removal if need be, but I can always do a flame sweep if they put a bunch of stuff. The double copy loyalty abilities is helpful. She have afterlife? No, we'll just burn this one out. Chandra Spitfire. Yeah, let's do that. If they have removal, I mean, they'll get killed, but if they don't, whatever. If I absolutely had to, each player sacrifice. Damn it. That's annoying. Okay, so I think here we're just going to go ahead and flame sweep and kind of reset the board state, except for we need land. We definitely need land. Like one more land would be really helpful right now. He's got a +2, we need to kill him now.
Another day.
Not that big of a loss, apparently.
Darkness.
This is it. I mean, the game is not over yet, certainly. That, however, is a bit of a problem. What do I get rid of? Chandra's Triumph or Lightning Strike? I think we go actually Lightning Strike. I mean, it can hit any target, but yikes. Alright, well, right now there's not much we can do.
I abhor my need.
Ugh, my gosh. This is not going our way. The aristocratic style, leeching us at every turn here. I guess we main phase it. Gives them card advantage. Yeah, I mean, this is not looking too hot for us. We'll see what happens, I guess. Damn it.
I demand certainty.
If we don't get a land this next turn, this is pretty much over. And even that, I'm not sure. Well, we have to discard Awakened Inferno. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think this is really going to help much. At this point, we needed that land badly.
No problem. Fire can't solve.
They've got 4, 6.
Time for a drink. How predictable.
7. He ought to have just hit me with that. Depending on what he has. You know, at the very least, I'll be able to take out his sword along the way. Probably have another one in hand.
I guess you don't need me anymore.
One day.
And the Spitfire is not going to be enough, even if I block their big guy. He has... Each lose 2 late. Yeah, he could punch enough in, and then sacrifice. Yeah, we lose. Oh well. Slow start, and up against a bit of a tough matchup. The stuff with a lot of life gain like that, or flooding the board, and without us getting like a flame sweep or something, which I did have, I used early. Obviously I ought to have waited, but those Sorens kind of killed us too, reanimating stuff. Well, what do you do? Okay, so double mint gum here. Alright. He was so afraid of my opening hand that he just quit. Nope, done. Can't handle it. They've got 7 cards in hand. What is this madness? Just calling it quits. Probably uninstalling right now. Well, that's a win. This is pretty good. I mean, barring any disruption, we've got stuff all the way into Acolyte of Flame and Nautilus Pyromancer. Friendly player. Yeah, it was a friendly player. Now they're playing blue. I started as a control, and I still, in some ways, am a control player at heart, but I really just, I don't like the way that most of it plays now. Okay, so I can't afford to have the regulator countered. I think we'll just wait, I guess, and then I can throw out a shock. Realistically, what I would probably have done first is try to bait out the counter spell with the Ember Cat. Yeah, which is what I think we're going to do. They can't help it. And see, this is the type of deck that I just can't stand. The stuff that does nothing all game, and then finally does. That's a problem. Not as much of one as it could be. Do we risk getting blown up or hit hard by this thing, or put out an Acolyte of Flame? Let's go ahead and do that.
Hey,
And then
don't start
we'll
any
attack.
fires without me. Don't worry, I brought compass.
And if he blocks, then shit. Well, that's fine. It gives us light up the stage, so. And we have another Acolyte of Flame, so I'm not terribly worried. what I'd really like to do is stick the Chandra's regulator, because between that, Novice Pyromancer, and Acolyte of Flame, I can very easily run amok all over this opponent. So I think the first thing we do is try to bait out the counter spell if he's got one. Okay. Now do we do Ember Cat? Or I can't afford to have that regulator counter. Okay, well, we'll do that. You're just gonna have to adopt a little bit slower of a game plan. The only problem against doing that against control is they almost all have draw spells, and so they eventually get to do what they want to do while saving stuff to deny you what you want to do. So it's just kind of not that fun to play against, but you know, we'll see. I'm doing what I can. If I can get to now here I think we sacrifice Acolyte of Flame on the altar of counter magic. Surprising.
Pyromancer extraordinaire.
Does it not have anything? Well, I guess we gamble for it. Son of a bitch. Ah, so annoying. And this is also annoying with the, in Paper Magic, I would have been able to do her ability. But here, because you press like one thing wrong, you know, you can't stop before that, and that's the annoying part. It's like I would have been able to put out well, it doesn't really matter. Let's do
I like to think on my feet.
That works. Punch some more damage in. I mean, ultimately, you know, control can be beaten and stuff. It's just everybody has a type of deck that they don't like playing against. But for me, that real dirtling control type deck that sits back and does nothing but counter your stuff and remove your stuff, and then eventually, you know, 15 turns down the line gets to actually doing something, is annoying as hell to me. We've got Acolyte of Flame. You know, let's get some damage in first. We've got Awakened Inferno, so I'm not really all that worried about it. I can put him in a real bad spot right now.
Time to turn up the heat.
Actually, if they don't have mana or a counterspell, and that's another reason why, you know, if those decks don't actually get to doing what they want to do. What was that game for that guy? He put out a couple of things, did about nothing except react to what I did all game, and then lose anyway, after taking, you know, 8 minutes longer than it probably could have. And then everybody has their stuff that they like to play and stuff they don't like to play. I still think I'm a control player at heart, but I want to build something, and ironically I want to build something blue-white, but you know, I've been thinking about it, and I don't want to do a dirtling, you know, 20-turn control deck. I want something that actively is working toward a win condition, as opposed to the win condition being, you know, go until you have sufficient advantage that your opponent can no longer, you know, feasibly win. Excuse me. So, things like Spell Queller, you flash the thing out, counter a spell, well, basically you imprison a spell until it leaves the field, but it's also a body, that kind of thing, to where everything I'm doing is setting up to where, to move toward, some kind of victory. Like I was thinking of doing like blue-white flyers, and so it'd be kind of control heavy, super friends-ish, because I like Mu Yanling, Teferi, that kind of thing, but without doing it like those decks like to do, the blue-white stare at your opponent style deck is, to me, not very fun to play. It's really not fun to play against, so I want to make a control deck. Okay, she's awesome and also has to die. I want to make a control deck that, definitely does have a tangible game plan toward which it's working.
Not to brag, but I'm totally your best friend. Don't worry, I've lost company.
A lot of them, like I say, they tend to... And see, the thing is, some good advice when you're playing against control decks, there gets to a point where you can be at 20 life and have 45 cards left in your deck, and you still can't win. Okay. That's going to be annoying. Let's go ahead and put that out.
Hi, I'm ready to fight.
Do this. And then all of a sudden, that's a lot of damage.
Let's burn brighter.
So, against control decks, a lot of players will keep playing even after they've lost because, you still have 20 life and 3 cards in hand. And, you've got 40-something cards in your library still, so you think there's still a chance. But the truth of the matter is that there really isn't. And okay, so we're gonna sweep their board,
Time for sparks to fly.
and then we should have a
Let's make this quick.
pretty
Make
clear
some more
path to
room
just
to
winning
fight in.
here. Because next turn, that was gonna be it. Next turn is gonna do repeated reverberation and throw multiple emblems on them, and then burn them, or and then hit with the elementals that are powered up, and it would have been over pretty quick. So that player did actually what you're supposed to do. A lot of control decks, because the game doesn't do a very good job of informing you that, hey, you've actually lost this game, and I don't just mean Arena here, as critical as I am of it, I just mean Magic in general. That's why I don't like those types of control decks, because the game doesn't really do that very well. And, people will keep playing 6-7 turns into a game that they cannot win because the opponent has overwhelming card advantage. They can counter your stuff, they can bounce your stuff or imprison it. They're drawing cards left and right. I mean, you've lost the game. But, you still have 20 life. You still have a couple of cards in hand or something, or, 40 cards in your library, but now you're in top deck mode. And they have answers for everything that you try to do from here on out. So even though the game state doesn't really do a good job of informing you that you have in fact lost this game, players will make themselves miserable. Oh boy. Players will make themselves miserable. I don't have an easy way to get rid of that thing. Well, I guess I do. I mean, it would cost me a lot. I think we just risk a couple of points of damage, and then if he doesn't save the blocker, the Spitfire is going to hit him for a lot. Let me draw a card. We'll take it this turn. And At this point, we need that guy dead. But the only way to do that is going to be to burn both Triumph and Lightning Strike. Now, what do you do? I'm not sure this is necessarily the right decision. And we're not going to attack. So, yeah, you know, you do yourself a favor by learning when to just tip your king and concede against control decks, but that still doesn't make the experience very fun. At least combo or aggro, when they set up and they beat you, they just beat you. You know, that's it. That's the game's over. We can't afford to take too many of these. If I don't get a serious answer very quickly, this is actually looking bad. I don't have a way to get rid of favorable winds unless I draw a blast zone. So what we can do is basically try to chump block with the Spitfire and shock the opponent, which will pump up the Spitfire to a 4-3. And if he doesn't use another Anthem effect, then the Resplendent Griffin, which is probably going to, then the Resplendent Griffin will
I understand you are in need of support. Be strong.
Damn. Yeah, this is a problem. Ugh. Shit. Yeah, this is bad. At this point now we just have to chump. Well, that's all we can do. This is looking pretty unlikely for us. I couldn't even kill this thing with Awakened Inferno. I could go -6 on it, but month's not going to be enough. So if we put out another chump blocker, and then if we get another land, then we could actually copy her ability and potentially kill the Resplendent Griffin.
See it yourself.
See, it'd be 9. I'd have to do -5 to kill it. I could, but it depends on getting a land. So all we can do at this point is chump block. Honestly, I think we're going to go ahead and just cycle the shock, because it's not likely to be relevant here. If I can get rid of the creature, I can probably get at a Johnny. Okay, that helps. Tap, we do this.
Stay back. I'm an explosively good pyromancer.
We do that. Copy it, and this is pretty much our only potential.
Glad I can help you here. I've got a burning desire to finish you.
Now, what happens? I don't know. You can go, well, you can't return that Griffin because it got exiled. I don't know what it's got in hand.
I will lend you my strength.
Okay, just gonna ramp up the Planeswalker. Haha! No board state change for him. That is okay for us. We want a Johnny to die. I'm just gonna do that and copy it and put a couple of emblems on him. Because frankly, that's all we can do. I don't know if they're running counter spells. Let's see. No.
Ready?
Okay.
I'm ready. Let's do this.
So I can copy and do 4 to him, or I can hit him for 6. We're gonna hit him for 6. Try to.
Let's get stoked.
Well, then that puts him out of range of being able to ult anytime soon.
I hope you find your path.
Okay, well, spares him from that, but now we know what they do and don't have.
Unstoppable.
So, land. Hopefully it's just land. It was. Wow, another one that I cannot believe we stabilized against. Blood Crypt? Oh, hey, I'll take it. Shock. Alright, now we'll keep going. The Chandra deck works out pretty well, and I don't even have everything for it yet. That's kind of the fun part. Having that regulator and the Awakened Inferno just ended up being so key. That's one thing I really like about this deck, is there's so many synergies between... I go first. Yeah, this'll do. I can get the regulator out, and then from then, we'll see. But the regulator and the different abilities and the amount of times I've won games off of having to do something really funky, like have an Acolyte of Flame out, do her ability, then cast another one to replace her, and then do her ability and double that, and that kind of stuff. I've won off of doing a flashback off of the one Acolyte of Flame, casting another one, flashing back another lightning strike, Okay. Alright, yeah, we're looking okay here. We need land. It was kind of a risky opening hand in the sense of we needed land, but we'll see what happens. Or just being able to synergize the different Chandra's abilities, and especially with the regulator, which is just so powerful in the right setup. It's really cool. +2, +0, and that guy gets way stronger. We'll be targeting Knight of the Ebon Legion. We'll get a chance. And it's just very, I like Chandra. As far as the Planeswalkers go, she's got to be one of my favorites. Of the, former Gatewatch, I think Chandra probably is my favorite. I like her, I like Nisa also. Kind of curious what the opponent's doing. Or did my connection drop? Okay, no, it's my turn. So they're both 2s. I don't want to put out Acolyte of Flame yet because I don't have a way to protect her. I think what we do... See, I either put out the Spitfire to eat some removal, or I just wait and do a Chandra's Triumph. I think that's what we'll do. If they put down another land, and then they go to pump up Knight of the Ebon Legion on an attack, I can, Chandra's Triumph in response, kill it, and then they've wasted that mana. But we'll see. The only weakness of Acolyte of Flame is that she has no way to protect herself, so you have to do it with either creatures or removing possible threats. I have no idea what's taking the opponent so long, or are they alt-tabbing out in between each turn, or what? Oh, that is a problem. Yeah, she's an issue. So she's the one who has to die. Yeah, the opponent must just really have a bad case of alt-tab-itis. Oh, they finally got around to it, did they? Still, we need to get something going and quickly. I could put a couple of counters on her, but he has enough to... Yeah, that wouldn't be good. You know, we put out the Spitfire first. Get out the Acolyte of Flame and either ramp up or create 4 tokens and attack. More likely ramp up to kind of resist long enough to get to like Awakened Inferno, but we'll see. Or actually get to the point where we can just cast Chandra's Triumph out of our graveyard. Okay. Well, nothing we can do about that. Yeah, that's a problem. Oh boy. What we need to get to is, I can't block that one. What we need to get to is Awakened Inferno so that we can fry most of their field. We need land. You know what, we're going to do it. I mean, what does Aragorn say? He who cannot cast a treasure way at need is in fetters. If I put out... See, I could do a Chandra's Triumph. One more turn. Well, okay, this is a 2. It's a 1, 1, 2. What is the biggest threat here? If I put out... See, I need 3 mana to be able to sacrifice Blast Zone. Okay, actually, I think we just do no attacks and we just wait. One more turn. It's a Human Shaman. One more turn if we can survive this onslaught. Oh, buddy. You are giving me a lot of value for... Okay, well, we blocked the 2. Still going to eat quite a bit of damage here. Unless I Blast Zone. If I Blast Zone for 1, it'll hit that. Yeah, I'm not sure that would work. See, we need 1 more counter on there. But that would require... We wouldn't be able to do that this turn. No, I think we just do this. Well, it means we'll still eat 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I mean that hurts. We'll just go ahead and put a counter on this. But what we're gonna do now is just sweep most of their board. I think the Thunderkin Awakener will survive it, but I have a blocker for him.
Ever see a volcano erupt in person? You're about to. Check out these fireworks!
And then, yeah, we'll just save the blocker for Awakened Inferno. And, I mean, they may have, like, Bedevil or something like that anyway. So, you know. Yeah, they don't. That means things are going to get real unpleasant for
Anyone need a fire started? No? Too bad.
Yeah.
Hey, don't worry. I brought company. No pressure.
I like to laugh. I could have attacked with the Spitfire, I suppose, but... Yo, Alt-Tab, bro. You got stuff going on here. Just waiting for me to quit, maybe? Hello, wow. There are a lot of names I see in the chat. Hello and welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Just getting started with streaming in general. Playing like a 65% built Chandra deck that I wanted to make. In Arena, as you can see, of course. I think either the opponent is just completely alt-tabbing or maybe just quit. I have no idea. Some people do that, or they'll let all the timers run out and hope that you get, you know, fed up and quit, which, you know, who knows? Their internet could have gone out. Their alt-tab, you know, something came up in real life. It's tough to say. Generally, I tend to assume that, like, the player's just trying to run out the clock for some reason. But I don't really suppose it matters. Go ahead and throw the Ambercat out just in case. And honestly, we're looking pretty good. The regulator is very potent, especially when I'm just going to keep stacking up emblems on the opponent. So after next turn, unless they kill Chandra Awakened Inferno, they're going to take 4 at the beginning of their upkeep, which that hurts. Plus, they'll be taking damage from the elementals I'm creating with Acolyte of Flame. You know, there's a lot of damage to deal with here. And I like Awakened Inferno because she does give you some sense of inevitability, like especially against those dirtling control deck. Ah, yes, this is going to be sweet. Okay, so I'm going to get to copy it twice off of that. And then copy it another time, so I get to put 4 emblems on.
Is it just me, or is it getting a little warm? Is it just me, or is it getting a little warm in here?
Oh, it's getting warm in here.
Say hi to my fiery friends.
I mean, the fact is they're going to be taking 6 damage at the beginning of the next turn. That is going to hurt. Now, I shouldn't get too cocky here because I am at 10 life against a black-red deck. And so that's part of why I'm saving the Embercat and the Spitfire as blockers. Because if I absolutely have to, you know, I need to be able to you know, chomp something or soak up some damage before the opponent gets killed. Now they've got basically this one turn to beat me, but I don't know what they have in hand or what they might top deck. If they don't, and they don't get rid of Awakened Inferno, all I have to do is put 1 more emblem on them and they'll be killed at the beginning of their upkeep. You know, put the emblem on them and pass turn and the game ends. But we'll have to see what they do. Well, we might see what they do by the time Magic Arena 2 comes out. That's really cool. I'm glad to see all those names in the chat. I don't know if everybody's here right now, but it's really cool to see. the Spitfire is super jacked right now. And they just went through their turn. Yeah, that's the game then. Put 2 emblems on them. They take 8 at the beginning of their upkeep. And actually, funny enough, I could have flashed back the repeated reverberation and put another 4 emblems on them. Be kind of a BM. Not really necessary here. Although, if you're going to either Alt-Tab out or just deliberately let the fuse run out on all of your turns because you're losing a game that you were at one point winning, that's, you know, it's pretty... You kind of deserve what you get at that point.
Listen, is it just me, or is it getting a little warm in here?
Yeah, no need to attack.
I believe my fire spreads fast. With help.
Get even more Chandra stuff out there. Good game, opponent. That's gotta hurt. You know, and they were, I mean, they really were. At one point, we were looking pretty serious. But then Awakened Inferno came out, which, by the way, my paper version will be here soon. Then Awakened Inferno came out, swept their board, and we kind of stabilized. Although none of them, and when I upload this on YouTube, I'm going to watch that game again in particular, none of these are as satisfying to me as, yes, burn. None of them are going to be as satisfying to me as the win against that green stompy deck earlier, because that was so unlikely. And it just, we really had to play hard and kind of use every single thing that we had at our disposal. Those are the types of games that are really good. You know, win or lose, you know, you're really giving it everything you've got, and you have to play smart. And, you know, it just kind of combines all of the elements that make Magic the unique sort of entertainment that it is. Gutter buttons, huh? Interesting. Do we want the Ember Cat? Yeah, if it sticks around, that means we can put out Novice Pyromancer next turn. If it doesn't, we can put out Chandra Spitfire next turn, so... we do okay. So...
So constraining.
Use that, we'll shock their
I'm gonna try something new.
skeleton. I mean, would an electrical attack really work all that well against a skeleton? It just, you know, how well do bones conduct electricity? I guess I have no idea. Ooh, gonna kill my planeswalkers, my own creature, you son of a bitch. That is so uncool. That's alright. This situation is not... Yeah, that's actually going to be a problem. However, if we do this... this and this.
Hey, I'm Chandra. Nice to meet you.
Shock that. Do 5 to that.
This is just gonna be bad for you.
And then swing in for 1. I suppose it would have been prudent to actually save a blocker in case they do the same thing to me, but... Mayhem Devil, I'm not... okay. Yeah, I'm not all that worried about. Although realistically, I didn't really have a way to kill it. Not that turn. Rampage of the Clans. Wow. Okay, well, we're nearly there. Yes, I know. Mind controlling a creature and attacking that creature's former owner is just so rude. Some people, no respect. None. There are leash laws, you know. Okay, this isn't bad. Not a whole lot of removal, which is a little concerning. But I guess we see what they run. Ember Cat leads into Legion's Landing. Yeah, so that means a lot of life gain. Yeah, black-white life gain type deck. Those are really, really tough for us. And that's a problem. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't attack there. There's not really any sense putting out Acolyte of Flame. She'll just be killed. You should Spitfire. Don't attack yet. What we're trying to do is get through until they can put out Awakened Inferno and then blow up their board. Because her -3, for instance, doesn't hurt any of our guys. Because we're only running elementals. So it's like what, a black-white vampire. Okay, let's get out the regulator, because that'll help. And then we can actually put out Acolyte of Flame. And then the question is,
Won't lie, I'm a pretty great pyromancer.
do we just pump her up? Well, actually we can't. Yeah, I think we do. If they have, you know, any more anthem effects or anything like that for their vampires, they can still kill her anyway. But we're just kind of trying to buy time until Awakened Inferno comes out. That's a problem. Well, that means, yeah, if they have any kind of pump spell, she dies. Yeah, like that one. Yeah. One more land.
Chandra.
Come on, give me one more land. Well, that... shit. Let's see... This isn't good. She could help me get to... Well, I could kill one of the Legion's lieutenants. It's about all I can do. No! Oh, no, I made a mistake.
I'm fired up!
I was supposed to ramp into... Son of a bitch, that probably just cost me. The game here... Yeah, there's not much I can do. No, I meant to use the Ember Cat's ability to cast the Pyromancer, which is, again, not something that would have happened in... Oh, good God. In Paper Magic, but, you know... It was my fault. See, this is the annoying part. I cannot tell who the hell is attacking what unless you hover it. You know, it's very clunky. Why can they not move those over to this side, you know, and have more of a direct shoot. Now I can't block because if I lose the Ember Cat, then
Way too much for me to handle.
okay, well,
Let's make this quick. I've got other things to work. I've always wanted to make a really big fireball.
it doesn't get rid of that one, but it does buy me another turn or two. And so Champion of Dusk is probably going to kill her. I would imagine maybe they'll attack me. I would prefer it if they attacked me, but the opponent may realize that as well. Yeah. Well,
Fresh out of fuel.
I could do the same. If I can get a land, I can do double the sweep and kill the Champion of Dusk as well. Okay, well that helps. Okay. Now I need to do that to make absolutely sure. I mean, this is really all I've
I'm
got.
an explosively pyromancer. Let's make some more really I've always wanted to make a really big
That's
fireball.
all I can really do to buy some time. There are no guarantees it's going to do much or that it will save me here. But we'll see what the opponent has. They were hovering the regulator there going like, hey, what the hell? How does this work again? Which is usually a good sign, but... I'm tempted to make this into a red-white deck. Honestly, mostly splashing for the ability to remove enchantments. Okay. So, alright. So we toast both of their guys again. Well, you know, what would I'd have to do a -4. No, I've got to... Yeah, I have to sacrifice her
Make some more
to smoke both of those things. And then, the other one. And now we can just go ahead and throw the emblem.
I've got other things to burn. Let's get toasty.
Yeah. They have a lot of land. Yeah. That sucks because I needed that blocker, but you know, we'll see. I can always just do her -1 to kill the tokens by time. And they have the emblem going to work on them. They do have life gain, that's the thing. Okay, now we'll put out the Spitfire. And then we go, what, -1, or do we just... You know what, I think we just copy the emblem, honestly. It'll put, you know, we're eating the lightning strike at the start of every turn. And it does pump up the Spitfire to ridiculous levels. Also, Awakened Inferno can take some hits, that's the thing. She has enough loyalty counters on her. Yeah. Opponent gives us the good game. Game opponent, well fought. Took me everything I had just to come out of that one, but we've gotten some good wins. I like it. I like it. Way too top heavy. Said no guy ever. Now, as much as I hate to lose a hand that has Awakened Inferno in it, I've got no choice. And here, as much as I like repeated reverberation, I'm going to have to get rid of that one first. because the other ones are more important. Awakened Inferno, as you've seen, it's just such a powerhouse. I guess we can shock it. Might be a little early, considering it's only 1 damage, but you know, we'll see. We do have a lightning strike, and we have Chandra's regulator, which we can pitch to Chandra's regulator and see what else we can draw. So the situation, wow, that can be a nasty card. The situation is not as dire as it could be. We're a little low on cards, all things considered, but you know, we'll see. We've got a lightning strike to answer something like the firebrand. Although I think we might just take the 1 damage right now and see what we draw into. Yeah, a Cavalcade of Calamity is pretty strong. I've seen it just go nuts. Okay, land, not bad. It's kind of what we were hoping to get, so then we have another mountain that we can discard to it if we end up needing to. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. We're going to stop before combat and just go ahead and lightning strike that firebrand so that he doesn't get the extra value. Now what we'll probably do is tap, sacrifice it, and do 1 to me anyway, but 1 is better than 3. Yep. Pretty cool art. I'm a fan of elemental lizards. Okay, not really much we can do right now. I don't really want to pitch the land to Awakened Inferno because
Anyone need a fire started?
Inferno next turn.
No? Too bad.
This is gonna hurt though.
Say hi to my fiery friends.
This is gonna hurt a lot. Oh boy, I don't know if we're coming back. And then another freaking 3 damage. Yeah, we've got 1 turn to make something happen, and then they just get us just off of calamity.
Get out of my way. I'll burn it up here.
Yeah, and so we'll lose. If they end up attacking Awakened Inferno, we'll lose her, but we've got
I'm
to...
glad I could help you by not being on
I
fire.
would have liked to have killed that Scorch Spitter, but we had to get rid of the Acolyte of Flame.
I like your energy.
Yeah. Well, at least all the damage goes at her. That's the thing, it does bias. That is not gonna do it. Well, you know, let's see what we get. Unfortunately, that is not gonna help us. Ooh, I think we're dead. I mean, hell, they could have a couple of lightning strikes in hand. So if we don't double block, we die anyway. Maybe we draw another Awakened Inferno as like our only hope here. Actually, that wouldn't help because they're both, or the Spitfire's an elemental. No, that's right, we don't have enough. We died. Cavalcade of Calamity is no joke. And I needed to get something sooner if I wanted to get rid of that stuff. But what are you gonna do? A flame sweep or something would have been really helpful. And that's part of why I kind of want to go red-white. Because I could run Leyline of Sanctity. And also some kind of enchantment removal would be helpful, because stuff like that, the Cavalcade of Calamity, just breaks your back. Or this is kind of a risky hand. We have a couple of early removal spells and maybe a Spitfire, but we're kind of dependent on drawing land. Yeah, we'll try it. The black and white enchantment, I can't remember what it is, but it gives all your creatures +1/+1 and all your opponent's creatures -1/-1. Well, see, I can't put out any of the elementals with the Acolyte of Flame or anything like that because they only have 1 toughness, so they just die. So, I mean, that can be really, really rough. Okay, so this time we go Chandra's Triumph. Because the Lightning Strike actually has dual purpose. The Spitfire can get buffed if I hit them with it. See, these Spitfires are so awesome. The art is cool. You know, whenever an opponent is dealt non-combat damage, it gets +3 power until end of turn, which is just nuts. So do I want the Ember Cat? Yeah, that gives me a blocker. And then I think we just attack with the Spitfire. And Lightning Strike the opponent. So it's 3 damage there, plus another 4 there. So, you know, a nice little chunk. I can do another 4 or more with the Novice Pyromancer next turn in theory. It just depends. So, Sultai colors, huh? Now, my concern is I don't know if the opponent is running counter spells. If they are, you know, I kind of need that Novice Pyromancer to go through. I think we just try that. I guess we wait and see. Yarok the Desecrated. Doubles up on your ETB triggers. Chandra's Triumph. Ooh, actually that works out well. See, here's the... I can use it to toast Yarok. So I use her for 2 mana.
I'm getting the hang of this magic thing.
Then I do a Chandra's Triumph on Yarok, which does 5 because I now have a Chandra out.
Oh, it's you burning.
And then, you know, hit them for 1. And then, wow, okay, they have another one. I'm confused as to what just happened. Why did that trigger twice? Oh, they put out another land, okay. Okay, so what do we do here? I could still kill Yarok. Actually, you know what? I should have just
I'm
hit
gonna try
him
something
with
new.
that. Because then I could have attacked with the Spitfire and won the game. Because they would have taken 6 from 12. Yeah, that was a mistake. If I lose the game, it can go right back to that. Yeah, so it's a scape shift deck. Well, we actually have the means to beat scape shift is the thing. So we just sweep their board, I think.
If you haven't heard me, this makes them more room to fight in.
Yeah, okay, that'll do it. Foolish me, I could have won that turn before, but you know, live and learn. That's kind of cool. A giant that comes out with wolves. Alright, a couple more wins and we'll be done for the night. So far, so good, right? And then I'm going to go turn off the AC upstairs. It is freezing down here. This is such an iffy opening hand. If I draw into stuff, then that's not terrible. I guess we'll just see what they're running. The Ember Cat lets me get out Novice Pyromancer potentially on turn 3. Except for Awakened Inferno, I'm sure is probably going to be the one to go, because control players hate it. As well they should. It was meant to punish the dirtling type control decks. But we'll see. I don't know. Novice Pyromancer also wouldn't be a bad choice here. Yeah. That is not surprising me whatsoever. You know, I ought to look into doing the Blood Sun with the Lotus Field thing. I really like that. So, I'm guessing they're probably holding up counter magic. And so I don't really have a choice except to just play around it. Okay. See what the opponent plays. Nothing. Alright. Try to bait out a counter spell with Chandra Spitfire. Surprising absolutely nobody. Might as well get that Lotus Field out.
Use your skills, and I can teach you even more.
Yeah, sorry, but if I don't get to have my stuff, you don't get to have your stuff. As long as they don't have a... Oh, wait, they don't. Okay, now, we'll just toast. Although I really, really like her. I really like the art. I like what she does. I'm going to build like an elemental bird deck, kind of blue-white. Yeah. And then Chandra's Triumph. And you can get out of here. Yeah, if I don't get to have my stuff, you don't get to have yours. Thief of Sanity. Okay, let's shock it. I don't feel bad. You know, playing a slow, like black-blue especially, can be very denial-focused. just not fun to play against. It's the kind of stuff that really turns new players off of the game. Oh, you know what's funny about you mentioning that? What did you think about Pacific Rim? I just picked this up for $5 on Blu-ray at Walmart earlier today. It's still in the shrink wrap and everything. I'll do an ASMR video for when I open it. Go first. Ember Cat, Acolyte of Flame, Novice Party. This is good. Biggest fear is lots of removal, or maybe big creatures early, like that green deck we played against earlier. But we managed to overcome that thing. Yeah, what did you think? I mean, I loved it. I saw it in the theater. It was the last movie I got to see with my mom before she moved down to Texas. You know, took her out. We got food, went and saw Pacific Rim. You know, and I got to see giant robots punching giant monsters in the face. And, you know, that's really all you could ask for in life. You know what I mean? So we need her to live. So if they have a pump spell, they might be able to kill her. Like if they have multiple things they can do. If they don't, once we get to Novice Pyromancer, we'll be okay. Knight of the Ebon Legion. Chamber Guardian.
I'm telling Mother Ludi on you.
Okay, so we've got... Yeah, you know, I mean, we've got backups here.
Hey, I'm Chandra. Nice to meet you. I call my fists Pyromaster and Firebrand.
We'll just
We can do this together.
ramp them up and see what we get. But yeah, I mean, I love Pacific Rim. Although, you know, and they say, and rightly so, yeah, the kaiju were great. You know, they say, and rightly so, that the marketing campaign, the reason why it struggled is because the marketing campaign wasn't that great. And honestly, I believe it, all things considered. Because I didn't even know until right before the movie came out what it was even about. And it's like my wheelhouse, kaiju, giant robots, you know. Shit. We need Novice Pyromancer to live, because she can ramp me into Awakened Inferno. Do I have... Damn, I don't have a removal spell in the graveyard. Okay, well, let's do this.
I'm ready to fight. Study? Focus? I just want to burn
Just trying to basically survive until, or for one more turn. I mean, those things are annoying as hell. You have to get rid of them, or it's a big problem, because they'll start creating oozes and pumping them up. Like, yeah, it's the blob. Now they cannot get rid of Novice Pyromancer, which is what I was hoping for. I can sweep most of their board. The Growth Chamber Guardian is still going to be a problem.
You're toast.
But... Okay, well, I don't have to ramp, actually, so I can take care of their entire board. Which will be really, really key right now. Please tell... Oh, I was going to say, please tell me it's not an elemental. There we go. Now things are not quite as grim as they were. I can put out Acolyte of Flame and potentially be attacking with stuff. Just depends on what they're doing. We know they have a growth. Vivian is going to have to die.
How this thing goes. Meet my newest friend.
But that uses up all their mana for the turn, so I'm okay with that. Because then I can put out Acolyte of Flame. I can kill Vivian.
Don't start any fires without me. Say hi to my fiery friends. Let's burn brighter.
And start the clock. And they do have a Ripjaw Raptor,
Yet.
which could be tricky for us to get rid of because it's got friggin' 5 toughness, but let's see what happens. Neither do you have a Legion, I'm not as... Well, you know, I suppose I can do the old sweep and shock combo. Oh, please, yes, thank you. Opponent, you just made me very happy, and yourself very unhappy.
Everyone knows the bigger explosions are more fun.
Yeah, because your creature's gonna die. Now he gets to draw 2 cards out of it, so that Ripjaw did some work, but...
We can do this together.
And then I think, yeah, we'll just do that and just hold on to the other Novice Pyromancer. The 1 damage a turn is not a real fast clock, but we can speed that up if we start attacking with a bunch of pumped up elementals. What do you got for me? Assassin's Trophy? Yeah, which one are you going to target? Because they're all really good. They're all doing some serious work right now. No, okay, that's just compelled.
I'm burnt out.
Well, that's unfortunate, but... So do I want to kill that thing, or do I want to stick 3 emblems on them? Can I do both? I can't do both. I could do -2 and kill it. You know, I guess I could just stick an emblem on them.
No pressure.
Do this. And do that, that, and that.
Unless this. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try something new.
Yeah, see, the thing is, he's not gonna die, he's just gonna get exiled. Because I'm just gonna roast him with my -2 here. Ooh, you know, I'd actually have to do more than that. Yeah, you know what, we'll do that, though. So now he'll pump him up.
Toasted!
Oh, no, okay. I kind of figured he would. We don't want him killing our Chandra. Okay, so here's what we'll do. We'll cast the other one.
Be afraid,
Keep the
wizard.
new one.
This handle tough.
We'll kill this thing again.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try
then
something new.
we can do this for X equals 3 and then kill it again.
Really? It's
This
the
time it
best
gets
way to destroy
exiled.
things.
There's no coming back. And we'll throw out that Lotus Field because why not? Now, they're still not on a fast enough clock for my taste, considering they're in black and green, and they can keep bringing back threats with that Journey to Eternity. I kind of messed that up. I should have just exiled the thing the first time. So if I lose this one, I was kind of the cause of my own downfall. Yeah. Pacific Rim 2, it wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be, but it was good. I liked it. Okay, so what do we do here? We cannot do... Well, we can kill this thing with this.
Let's light it up!
And then what? We don't have a way to get rid of that. We can get out of its range of being able to kill one of our planeswalkers this turn. Yeah, we may have made a critical error though with that Journey to Eternity because he can just keep bringing back the ooze. Yeah, I think we might have screwed ourselves over quite a bit with that. Yeah, that's going to make things tricky. Yeah, and then you have to attack the...
Let's do this thing!
What do we do here?
Aw, looks like someone's getting a little sweaty. Whoosh! Up in flames!
So, yeah, I think that's what we have to do, is they're probably going to attack the Planeswalkers, which does buy us turns. Jumping at 5. Yeah, we can knock them down to 2 with the Lightning Strike, and then if they don't kill us this turn, we will win. It's kind of a big if. But they have to be looking at this and going, you know, with the 4 emblems on, I mean, they have to kill us. They've got to kill Chandra, Awaken Inferno, but if they attack her, then it just gives us the time that we need. So this is looking pretty good. And it's kind of the benefit of forcing them to attack your Planeswalkers because they're such huge threats. So you can bring back Vampire of the Dire Moon. Okay. But, I mean, none of that saves you. From what I can tell, we've got this. All I have to do is pass my next turn. Now, if these guys had lifelink or something, that would be one thing. Okay, yeah, they probably realize. Now, I don't have to do anything at this point. Although I guess I can just... No, we'll just pass the turn and let them die. I could have shocked them, but I like the idea of Chandra getting it done. Whew, a squeaker, man. We were toast. Looked like they had, if they didn't have lethal, it was close too. Alright. Veil of Summer, really cool card. Okay, well, those were our daily quests. We've got our gold up. Which I'm if I could talk, I'm considering saving for a draft. I do need that one more rare wild card though. Maybe I'll just buy a pack. Really playing games, just playing games should get you XP. I mean, at least Fortnite does at least that. And if you're going to copy the battle pass, at least don't make it, you know, so greedy. But, you know, because as it is, XP, yeah, I don't even know. I mean, actually earning it is just through completing quests and special events. So, you know, just playing the game. There's no reason to play right now. Outside of that, because, you know, I'm not getting anything out of it other than just playing, and honestly I'd rather play like Paper Magic or play something else. Okay, but that rare wild card is good. Steel Overseer I don't really care about. The Flame Sweep is nice. Yeah, I'm not big on artifacts, so my friend slash roommate Andrew It's huge artifact. Like, that's all he does. He's got an affinity deck. That's pretty mean. Okay, so that's our rare wild card that actually would let us get the 4th Chandra's Regulator. We do need more fire artisans, but those regulators are so important. Oops. I'm gonna go ahead and craft it. And then what the heck do we put in or take out in its place? Maybe that one light up the stage. Although light up the stage I really like. Repeated reverberation probably. As cool as it is, the regulator is just better overall. More reliable. You know, although that repeated reverberation helped me beat that green stompy deck, so I'm loath to get rid of it. Now we'll see. But yeah, I'm liking the way this deck is coming along. So yeah, I think that'll be it for now. It's tomorrow's Sunday. I think I'd actually like to get back to streaming Subnautica, so I may just do that tomorrow. I've got all kinds. Some of these are the pre-cons that you can earn. Some of them are ones that I've made. This Merfolk deck is fun. I'd actually kind of like to build a paper version of it as well. River Sneak I really like, and Mistcloaked Herald just naturally can't be blocked. Growth Spiral, absolutely stunning art. I mean, just stunning art. And the effect is also really good. You can throw it out, you know, on their end step, draw a card and throw out a land, or, you know, when you need it. River's Rebuke. See, I wouldn't mind using, especially in this deck, Flood of Tears. Let's take a look at collecting. Yeah. That returns everybody's permanents, but then you can put yours back out, or put one back out. I do want to get like a Mooey Yonling. It's a cool one, but it's the Planeswalker deck version. I do want to make a deck around her and possibly like Teferi and a couple of others. Most likely modern, honestly, but for Arena I may do the same thing. Like I said, I was talking about earlier, a blue-white control deck that is still kind of going classic blue-white, like cheap, efficient creatures, flyers and stuff, probably. Things like Spell Queller, which I don't believe is modern anymore. Or modern, standard. Sorry, it's late, long week, still recovering. You know, things like that you can flash out, and you know, it still creates a body, so you can still hit them. I mean, you're not hitting them as fast as like a goblin aggro or elves or green stompy or something is going to, but you're working toward a goal that is not just, you know, sit back and do nothing and play reactionary stuff all game until, you know, the opponent hopefully realizes that they can no longer win. No, this is more meant to you know, actively pursue some kind of win condition, because I don't approve of the dirtling type decks, and you know, I want something that moves a little faster, or at least a little more consistency, you know, that kind of thing. So when I build it, that's kind of what I'm looking into, is some ways to, you know, make it have a more active component than a lot of those types of control decks tend to. Proactive, as it were, as opposed to reactive. Leyline of Anticipation, I really like the new Leyline art. I was shocked that they reprinted the Leylines in this core set. It was kind of just a big time flex. Leyline of Sanctity went way down. I noticed Leyline of the Void is still not real cheap. love the art on this Cerulean Drake. This is just so cool. And a useful little creature too. Use it to stop like a big, fireball or something that somebody lobs at your face. And it can chump block red creatures all day. I was gonna say, is that a unicorn getting taken on a ride here, or what's going on? Cool style on there. Magali, I love her work. This has got some cool art too. There's tentacles reaching out. Generally, that's a place to be avoided. If you find yourself, is on an anime-inspired plane, you should definitely avoid that area. Narset's Reversal is a really cool card. I really like Narset herself. And I'd like to build a deck. Like with the Mu Yanling, she'll probably end up being in there. Narset will. Denies them multiple card draws, so she's kind of good against control. This lets you copy an instant or sorcery, then return that whatever you copied to its owner's hand. So it doesn't let you like send it to the graveyard in the sense of countering, but it does let you respond to basically stop an uncounterable spell, which is interesting. That's what makes it very powerful. I didn't see the message yet, but yeah, I'm in the mood for Subnautica. Have been for a while, so I'm thinking, I want to get back to it. Resident Evil, I do need to get back to. I've got that playthrough, plus I've got Resident Evil 2 I'd like to play through and do that one on stream. And I've got a few different games I'd like to play. What I want to do is eventually get a capture card for my Nintendo Switch and play that one on stream too. But not bad, right? Some decent games tonight. We won most of those games tonight. Actually, it wasn't as tough as it could have been. That deck is pretty powerful. I really like the way it plays. Those regulators are just insanely strong. Combined with any of the Chandras. What I need is more of these fire artisans, and then I could probably get rid of Light Up the Stage, because she does give you card advantage in the way that red tends to do it these days, which is, exile it off the top, then you can play it until the end of the turn or whatever. Blast Zone, Lotus Field. That's right, that combination with Blood Sun, I really liked that. It also stops... I thought I had one of those on here. It also stops, certain annoying lands, but the fact is it turns Lotus Fields. I mean, it's... You wouldn't consider it an ability, necessarily, but it's a triggered ability when it enters the battlefield. You sacrifice 2 lands. It's really a cost, but, that's what it... But the Blood Sun, as we saw earlier, changes this. All lands lose all abilities except mana abilities. So this thing comes out untapped, and it's, tapped for 3 mana of any one color. It's, of course, a mana ability. So that's actually a really powerful combination. It does, however, lose the hexproof, so it can be destroyed. But that's pretty potent. I may have to look into doing something with that. But, I've never been real big on red until, I started making some Chandra themed decks. And as you'll note, I really like to play themed decks. Is just like, I don't want to jam all random stuff together. I like decks that tell a story. And yes, I did mention Chrono Trigger. To me, Chrono Trigger is the greatest game of all time, hands down. And so when I play that on stream, I'm going to want to do that right. because I need to do it justice. I want to show people just what makes this game so amazing. It's just perfect. It was a 10 out of 10. I don't think I'd ever give any game a 10 out of 10 except Chrono Trigger. The music, the art design, you know, the graphics, the gameplay, the storyline, I mean everything. Just the feel of playing in that game, of being a part of that world is just so incredible. I mean, it almost will give me goosebumps. You know, it's that good. And the music is it's that good. It's Corridors of Time especially is one of my favorite tunes of all time. Which honestly I would play now, but I think they might, if I did, they might mute that section of the music. I don't know if it's one of those songs that you can use or not. So I may just have to show you in the game, but it's really good. Okay, well, I think that will do it for me. It is tea time and then possibly bedtime. But thanks everybody for, you know, jumping in and watching some Magic gameplay. We'll do some more soon. Do some tomorrow. Or maybe Subnautica. We might do some Subnautica or something tomorrow. But you know, I am happy to play this on stream. I did pick up that Mastery Pack, just as, or Mastery Pass, whatever. Battle Pass is what it is. But because you do earn a lot of good stuff, there really needs to be more ways to earn XP. Now I know my friend Andrew tells me to play ranked. I don't know if you can earn XP that way. I don't know what the difference is between traditional and otherwise. Like, I wonder if traditional is best of 3. The problem is I don't really have much of a sideboard for this thing. So, you know, I haven't really been looking at doing anything like ranked or like best of 3. Oh, I was going to say, did I spell it wrong? No, I know I didn't. It's because, there we go. Now I do have one. Need more rare wild cards. I wish there were easier ways. I mean, if you could even go to the store and freaking buy wild cards, that would be amazing. Oh, waiting for the server. So I would like to get this Muyanling bundle, and once I get, you know, enough gems, I probably will. It's not worth buying the gems. I have 650. I would have to get, even the 1600 wouldn't do it, but it's not worth $20. It's like, I guess I could spend 15 and get it this way, but you know, that's the thing. They hit you with the really odd numbers because they're trying to force you to have to buy more, and it just, you know, I have traditionally been pretty critical of Arena, and for good reason. You know, the presentation, they've got the flash part down, but they don't have the function down well enough to be focusing that much on form over function. As you saw with the blocking. Now, when you have a creature or a field full of creatures attacking and a field full of creatures blocking, and there are arrows everywhere, or you're trying to target something, but there's this curving arrow going across the screen, and then when you try to target something, all of a sudden the preview of it pops up and is ginormous, and it's blocking what you're actually trying to target. And, you know, the timing and stuff, it's very frustrating because it's just so much clutter and there's just so much cruft. And on top of that, I think the business model is extremely greedy. You know, even by CCG standards, they're definitely giving Hearthstone a run for their money in that regard. You know, and the fact you saw the gems, I mean, it's, first of all, everything is super expensive, way more expensive than it should be. And then, you know, they do stupid stuff like, okay, 20,000 gems, is $100. 90 packs is 18,000. So what are you going to do with that leftover 2,000? You know, they can't line up the numbers properly, and it's just yeah, I guess you could do that and get like some full art basic lands or something, you know, but I mean, it's very expensive, and they really try to do what they can to force you to have to buy that way. Now, if I got like donations or something, I would buy, you know, 90 packs and then open them on stream, but otherwise I just, you know, I can't swing $100 for that, and that would be nice because it would certainly help. 90 packs would probably get quite a bit of stuff, and especially the stuff that I need for the various decks, and I can go play ranked. But you know what I mean? It's just, unless you want to drop a ton of money on it, it's very, very slow and grindy, as most free-to-play games are. But it's especially egregious, I think, in this one. And so it's a little frustrating. And then the fact is that you have well, hello new people. I'm sorry you showed up right as I'm about to sign off for the night, but you know, you get it just seems especially egregious in terms of being either grindy or very expensive. And then when what you're trying to grind through is this thing where, like I say, it kind of looks nice, but give me Magic the Gathering Online's aging interface any day, because it's a lot more functional. You can see what's going on. You don't have, you know, confusing arrows. You don't have abilities that don't go off when they're supposed to, because it doesn't give you the opportunity to do them properly, and you know, that kind of thing. They have a long way to go. The new player experience is also very bad for this game. So while it's free, it's very frustrating. I can't imagine going back and just trying to start now, because you're going to be matched up against a bunch of decks that will stomp you. And then you're trying to learn everything, but you have arrows, you know, this way, and you're trying to hover something, and then this giant card covers half the screen. You can't see what's going on properly. It's just, yeah, there's a lot of unnecessary clutter, and they haven't focused on the core elements enough, I think. And it seems like what they've been really rushing to work on are things like these card styles, which, I mean, they do look cool, certainly, but it feels like they rush to get more stuff in the store than they have focusing on the basic engine, which really needs it. You know, they really need to see, I really like these Yoshitaka Amano sleeves, but you know, they really need to focus on the core gameplay elements and kind of making it more user-friendly, less cluttered, less you know, intentionally confusing and that kind of stuff, before they focus so much on, you know, card styles and cosmetics and foisting you know, gem packs and stuff down your throats. So you know, that's my feedback anyway. I constantly encourage everybody to keep that in mind if you're looking at starting, because it is, you know, there's a long way to go for it, and hopefully they get it there, but who knows. I mean, you know, I'm not Wizards. I'd still rather play paper Magic any day, because there's something to be said about sitting around the table with your friends playing, and then, you know, I'll have my video game and movie tune soundtrack playlist going, and, you know, that kind of stuff. But anyway, that is definitely enough ranting for me tonight. We got some wins. I was very happy about that. We got some good games. Got to show you what the deck can do. That's part of why I like it. It reminds me of my elf deck, my modern elves, which is very synergy. It has a lot of synergies and stuff in there too, and there's a lot of different ways you can play around with those synergies and abilities in the given moment. which makes it fun because nothing is ever quite exactly the same, you know. So there's things you can do differently from turn to turn sometimes to get you know, the most out of the deck, and I like that sort of stuff. And this Chandra deck is very much like that. You know, you figuring out how to use their abilities in the best order, or you know, what will help you win the game. And sometimes it's very challenging, even to just pilot it's the deck to its full potential, and that's great. I love that sort of stuff. Lots of skill involved there. I'll try to put up a notice or something on the channel. Maybe do some Subnautica or something tomorrow, so after I get all my running around done. But thank you for watching, everybody. Have yourselves a good night, and enjoy your weekend.